Glad you could join me once again on the show. I sincerely welcome you today. It's yet another very great moment with you, and I definitely know we're going to enjoy our time together. Yes, today we're going to be looking at this video. It is a video about Samuel L. Jackson on stereotyping Muslims in Hollywood movies. It does quite. I think this interview or the video we're about to watch now is very timely because most times I'm always very concerned about why Muslims are portrayed in a very bad light. They're portrayed as terrorists, very hard people, very wicked people in Hollywood movies. So let's hear what Samuel L. Jackson would say on stereotyping Muslims in Hollywood movies. I understand that this video is a very, great one and is going to help us understand certain things or the internal workings of some Hollywood movie production so that we can actually get an insight into why Muslims are often, the targets of, a stereotype in Hollywood movies. Okay, don't go anywhere because I've got something more to say at the end of the video. Let's watch it.
Is it your first time in the Middle East?
Yes.
What's your impression?
I'm digging it. It's fine.
Well, I'm asking because the image of Middle Easterners in Hollywood is not the most positive one. And last year you said that American Muslims are the new blacks, right?
Oh my God, we're going all the way back there? Yeah, I said that, yeah.
My question is, how could Muslims reach what African Americans have achieved in Hollywood? Let's talk about Hollywood. Because this year, if you look at the movies, we see vying for awards. Fences, Loving, Moonlight. It's incredible success.
Okay.
How Muslims can achieve that, do you think?
I don't know. I guess you're asking cinematically, though, right?
Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah. I don't know. The stories have to be told, I guess, and I guess a wider appeal for the film, or young, Muslim Americans start telling their stories the same way, African Americans, fought and found ways to make films about their lives and their experiences, and letting people know that their experiences living in that particular space aren't any different than anyone else living in that space. You got the same, get up everyday problems that everybody else has. And the stories need to be compelling, and I guess, as usual with everything else, something that relates to the common experiences of the people who are coming to see those films.
From your experience in Hollywood, do you think Hollywood has contributed to this negative image of Muslims and Arabs? And by the way, I would like to remind you, Rules of Engagement was considered by the Arab American League of Anti-Discrimination as the worst film in terms of racism towards Arabs.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
didn't you hear about all that?
I like that movie.
I mean,
No, we didn't.
Paramount had to apologize.
No, I had no idea. No,
You
I
were
didn't know
the
anything
star of the
about that.
movie.
Yeah, but they don't
You're
talk
the
to us
hero.
about those things. I mean, that's like upstairs somewhere.
So when you read
Yeah.
the script, you didn't feel anything wrong about it?
It was a story about American soldiers in a place, doing something. It was no different than a story to me about Vietnam and the things that, soldiers did when they were out there in the heat of battle, and sometimes people make mistakes. So it was one of those, war mistake movies for me, and I thought it was important to tell. And like I said, the characters were compelling, the situation was compelling. I had an opportunity to go make a movie in Morocco.
Oh, it was shot in Morocco.
Yeah, in Ouarzazate.
Well, I recall the Yemeni ambassador also complained.
Oh,
because
did he?
Of course,
See, we didn't know about
the
that.
Yemenis were portrayed as terrorists, all of them. Even the little girl was a terrorist.
Well, see, that's
you were the
question.
victim.
That's the question in the movie.
Yeah.
Did they have guns or did they not have guns? Did they attack the embassy or did they not attack the embassy? I mean, there have been other movies made about the very same thing, recently. So no, we didn't know about it. As an actors, we just tell the stories. I go in there. I hung out with those people a lot. But I guess they were Moroccans. But you know, so the question was, did that little girl have a big gun in her hand, or was she just standing there, or were those people actually shooting at the embassy? I mean, the bullet holes in the embassy came from somewhere. So everybody has their side of the story. They just didn't tell that side of the story, unfortunately. So I don't know. When you're doing stories about terrorism now, that happens to be the thing. Way back when they made war movies, it was always, Japanese or Germans. They're still making those movies. I mean, Brad Pitt just did that. So, apples and oranges.
So do you
Somebody's got to be the bad guy sometimes.
Yeah.
And I guess, if you make your movies, we can be the bad guy in your movie. I will definitely come and be the ugly American in any movie you want to make about it.
No, I don't want you to be the ugly American because you've suffered enough
Okay.
to go and wear that hat. It's not fair. But I want to ask you now about the filmmakers. You saw there are Arab filmmakers here who are trying to change that. How important do you think those voices of filmmakers from the Middle East?
They're very important. Like I said, we want to know where you came from, how you exist every day, and what forms the opinion in your life. The majority of Americans probably think that every Muslim in this part of the world wants to kill them, or they don't realize that there are moderate Muslims, there are extremists, there are whatever. Like in every society, we have crazy Christians. Same thing. And the only way we'll find that out is by these young filmmakers telling their stories, and telling some stories where religion has no part in their lives whatsoever, because everybody doesn't get up every day, and pray 5 times a day. There are people that don't do that too. So the only way for us to find that out is through these young people telling their stories and telling the story of their lives and what their similarities are and what their frustrations are in terms of trying to reach their life goals, or how easy it is for some people to do it, how difficult it is for others to do it, what the day-to-day struggle is for some people as opposed to the ease of life that other people have, or raising a family and taking your kids and hoping for a brighter future, what that future is that you wish for your kids, and how you want to achieve that particular thing, and the way you raise them and what you teach them about the world. America is one of those strange kind of countries. I mean, everybody thinks it's, the gold standard or something, but, it's like 70% of Americans don't even have passports. Right? They don't even leave the country. So they don't have a real worldview other than the one that they're fed. So if your filmmakers are telling their particular stories, you can feed them that, and hopefully they'll be interested enough to, watch it and learn something.
But do you feel, or are you concerned by the rise of the Trumpism that includes all the white supremacists and the racism that is kind of these days is rising?
Yes.
We were doing something with the BBC called the BBC Arab Festival for that purpose, to bring Arab art and Arab artists and their work and show it to the world and present the positive image you're talking about. How important such project is, in your opinion?
Oh, very. I mean, there's the huge concern that the rest of the world has with the Muslim sensibility has to do with the few people we see that perform extreme acts. So to find out that everybody is not complicit in that is a very important thing, to show the rest of the world that you are as shocked and as appalled as everyone else is. That this is not the majority opinion, because we're out here trying to do this, that, and the other. We're trying to live a certain way, and we want to live in peace and harmony with everyone else in the world in a certain way. And this is what we do to try and achieve that. everybody's not doing that other thing. And that's, that's the important thing for everyone to know.
And you think film can achieve that?
Of course.
Of course, that's the power of the cinema, and some of this power that people don't know that exists in the cinema. Everyone watches the movies. Everyone, despite your background, despite where you're coming from, despite your situation, your peculiarities, and everything, you watch the movies. And and the movie, according to him now, can actually be used to rewrite, the stories of Muslims in America, Muslims all around the world. And that's true. I think YouTube too is doing the same. Many people have come to learn about Islam in a different way, from YouTube. Yeah, many people have Muslims around their families, around their communities, but they really don't understand Muslims, basically because of the way they're portrayed and because of the way Muslims themselves seem to behave sometimes. So, but with the advent of, apps like YouTube and many other social media apps, people are coming to realize or learn more about Islam, by making videos. Some of them end up being converts, some of them end up being, members of the family, or some of them end up being a very great threat to the Islamic world. Some even end up, telling others about how important it is for us to see Islam from a very different light from what the media and what terrorism actually makes it look, like. And I think it has actually laundered the image of Islam across board. It's strangely important that he's saying that this at this very great time, because of course, if you watch him, you see that he's being honest. Yes, the stories have to be told. Sometimes Muslims are so sensitive to the extent that the few that are committing these crimes go scot-free, go scot-free, because majority of the Muslims don't say anything about it because they've been sensitive. They've been very careful that when they react to some of these incidents that are very despicable, they will not end up insulting Islam itself. But I think everyone is waking up right now. I saw a video of Ali Dawa condemning a man that slapped a rabbi in the street of London, and that video changed my mind. In fact, he spoke with a guy, with I think the rabbi in the video, where he condemned and used some words that are very, good in condemning acts like that, and I was quite encouraged. I was quite encouraged. Well, what do you think about this very amazing video, and especially about the stereotype that Muslims are created, especially in America and other parts of the world? Many people today left Islam or are scared to join Islam because of this stereotype. They're seen as terrorists. They're seen as very, quick to anger and a whole lot of other negative, stuff that are attached to their behavior. So I think we will be good if we discuss. Yes, it's a very important topic. Let's talk about it on the comment section. I'll be so happy to have you there, do it. So thank you so much for joining. I sincerely hope to, catch you in our next video.